In the story of progress, every chapter of development adds depth, richness, and meaning to our collective narrative. From the smallest steps to the grandest strides, every act of development paves the way for a brighter tomorrow. Welcome to the Development Report on Universal Television Africa. I am IFY ONYEKWERE, and here we talk about issues surrounding sustainable development, from climate change to energy to water resources and more. And interestingly, today we have a guest in the studio, Esimaje Michael Onoseme, who is going to be discussing catalyzing green entrepreneurship in Nigeria. We'll go on a short break and we'll be right back to discuss these issues surrounding sustainable development. In a world where challenges persist, we seek solutions for a sustainable tomorrow. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, guides our path towards climate action to social justice as we build resilient communities. From embracing circular economies to reducing carbon footprint, to promoting eco-innovation, to empowering marginalized communities and ensuring inclusive governance and human rights. Through integrated approaches, we are fostering transformative change. I am IFY ONYEKWERE. Join me on the Development Report as we explore the intersection of sustainability on Universal Television Africa towards sustainable development. Welcome back. It's still the Development Report, and we have in the studio an amazing guest who is a climate negotiator, a climate change expert, and he's going to be discussing catalyzing green entrepreneurship in Nigeria. Great to have you in the studio today.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
Yeah. All right. So, talking about green entrepreneurship, we know that entrepreneurs are, people who do businesses, to make profit or solve, their basic problems in the environment. So, introducing green to entrepreneurship, could you tell the audience what does this mean?
Okay. So, talking about green, first of all, what comes to mind is sustainability. What comes to mind when we mention green is just transition. And just transition is a heavy word, in the climate space, meaning that we are moving from fossil fuel to, renewable energy and all that. So now for green entrepreneurship, we're talking about entrepreneurs, business people, innovators that wants to solve challenges related to climate change, waste, recycling, but then they are doing it in a sustainable way so that the environment can be protected, adequately protected. So that is what differentiates them from the regular people. So the green part of entrepreneurship means that I will do business, but I'll do business that will be productive, that will not harm the environment. So that is where green entrepreneurship comes in.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, this is a concept that wasn't so popular, like, let's say 10 years back and all like that, compared to how it is right now. And so we know that for every business, primarily entrepreneurs are there to make profits, while they're also solving social needs and all like that. So how do we merge this? Because discussing this, a lot of people are watching, right? And they want to know, okay, if I'm going to go green, how do I take my business to go green and also be able to make profit? Where is the intercept between profit making and going green?
All right. So first to the first question, yes. Prior to now, green entrepreneurship has been silent, although for developed part of the world, it has been ongoing for years, over 20 years, because education makes them know better. All right. So now that transfer of education is coming to us because now global pandemic, there's what we called the global catastrophe index. All right. So things are happening. So that's where green entrepreneurship started flowing into Nigeria. So now, to reduce some of these disasters that are occurring, we now have to go back to Mother Nature. All right. So because these disasters are happening from natural occurrences. So why are natural occurrences becoming disastrous? So now talking about your second question, it's now becoming a global phenomenon. So people are aware that, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that to prevent. Now, for example, there are certain category of farming you don't have to do just so that you reduce flooding in your region. So there are certain kind of tractors you don't have to use on certain land. So that's what we call safe agriculture.
Yeah.
So those are examples. Now, coming back to the business part of it, for entrepreneurs, the first thing that comes to mind is actually profit. All right. So whether you want to do green or not, profit comes to mind, and you have to follow the dictates of your business plan. And before you say you are a green entrepreneur or whatever business you want to do in the green space, you have a concrete business plan that you have to follow.
That's
and
right.
without that business plan, your business cannot thrive. So you are in business primarily to make profit. Now, the intersection here is that while you are trying to now make profit, for example, if you build a renewable energy device, which we can call in a layman word power bank. You're going to sell the power bank. There's cost of production of the power bank, of which my company, SmartGate, we have a department for that. You know, we have a prototype now. So I'm just giving you a centric example. So now, if you are building such, all right, you have to factor in your cost of production and all of that. So when you are selling out, you're also going to make profit from the produce. So the intersection is that you are doing a business that is going to be technically green safe for the environment, because why are we using power bank? We don't want to use generators anymore. All right. So the cost of fuel, we all know, is high. All right. And the pollution that comes from fuel use, we all know that. Right. So using power bank, using renewable energy is safer for the environment. So for any company that is working on maybe lithium battery, renewable energy, it's a business. They are providing power to you, now they are providing you safe power that doesn't need to pollute the environment. So that's the intersection. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Could you actually tell us the urgency of response to climate issues? Why we need to embrace green? Why we need to have the rise of more green entrepreneurs? What is the urgency in embracing climate action for the rise of more green entrepreneurs in the country and in Africa at large?
Yeah, so basically I will give you some examples, but then the urgency comes in many ways. We are having huge deforestation because first of all, our people, we have what we call a green negligence quotient in Africa generally. Our wildlife is going away because people need to eat meat. All right. And now, because of this development, we have bodies that knows better across the world that are coming to Africa. I could give a couple of examples later on that are coming to Africa to try to mitigate some of these issues. So we have deforestation, we have irrigation issues happening. So the floodings we're having right now, other than the fact that the dam was the dam was released, or the water that has been saved for years has been released, we have an issue of the ground not able to take enough water, to drain out this water. There are issues around that.
Because of human activities.
Because of human activities. So these are pertinent issues that, people are becoming aware of. Now, to the question, why do we need more green entrepreneurs? Because, first of all, we need to find a way. We have taken too much from Mother Nature. So we need to find a way to give back to Mother Nature. So now, for example, for horticulturists, those that are planting flowers, trying to make give us greenery space again, that's a business. And in Abuja, because of the scenery of Abuja, for example, you can see a lot of that. But in other parts of Abuja or other parts of the country, for example, you will not find such business thriving, right? They are doing this in Abuja because of education, and that's where climate education come into the mix. So we have to be careful enough to ensure that we give back to Mother Nature as much as possible, so that we can reduce the impact of what has been taken from the system. So most of the disaster that we are having now is because of what we are taking from Mother Nature, and we are paying dearly for it already. So how do we now reduce or mitigate this dearly we are paying for? So that's where the green entrepreneurs come in by creating renewable energy solutions, by recycling things like, cellophane. You can't, we know what the nuisance cellophane can cause,
That's right.
but now we now have green entrepreneurs that are turning this cellophane into what you call it, building materials, right? That is also innovation, all right? And we need more of this kind of people, because if all cellophanes in all cities in Nigeria can be adequately converted to building materials, that is money to those that are converting the green entrepreneurs. And then that is reduction of disposable waste across all facets of the country. So that it is economical for green entrepreneurs to emerge. It is what do you call it, sustainable, all right, and also it's very doable. So that's I would like to hear the next question.
Amazing.
Yes.
All right. I would like us to go on a break right now. When we come back, we're going to be looking at the opportunities for green entrepreneurs. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Development Report. I am IFY ONYEKWERE, and we've been having a very intelligent conversation with a climate change expert in the studio, Catalyzing Green Entrepreneurship in Nigeria. All right, could you, highlight some of the opportunities that green entrepreneurs actually have while, solving environmental issues and also attending to business needs? What are the opportunities for people if I decide as a business owner that I want to tilt away from doing business the normal or usual way and keep taking from the earth and, adding value to, the environment while doing my business? What opportunities are there for people in this space?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So because the space, actually, the green space, just transition space, requires a lot of innovators. There's a lot to be done and more to be done. Now, the cheapest, I would say, it's not very cheap, but the most easiest of businesses you can do within the green space is waste and recycling. All right, because first of all, the materials, the raw materials you need to start, all right, your recycling, although they are going to be need for machineries to digest this waste and all that. So, but the first raw material, you get it at a very affordable, because people are throwing it away. But even if you want
Very
to now,
accessible,
yes,
yeah.
very accessible. But even you want to pay to just get it, you pay at a very, because they are waste. You understand? So nobody wants waste. So first of all, so it is economically viable that you can come into waste and recycling business, and that is a good for everybody, because you read the environment of all manner of waste. Now there's also what we call the renewable energy solutions. All right, so of course we know the inadequacies of power, access in the country. All right, so coming into the power business is good. All right, it's good, and if you do your business plan analysis properly, it's something that you can really benefit from. All right, so then you also have what we call it tree planting business that is already existing. So, and we need more people to key into it, because as at right now, furnitures and all that are taking a toll on the available trees that are that are available to shield us from bad air. Now, when we say pollution, vehicles, you cannot stop vehicles from moving, right? And when we say I mentioned just transition earlier. So just transition is about, okay, we are moving from use of fossil fuel, on the road and other places, to now clean or renewable energy, source. All right. So now, when we say just transition, Africa typically, we are not in the just yet. All right. We are very far away from the just. All right. So even the developed world, all right, they are also doing a lot, but we don't have just transition yet, because first of all, you have to throw out all the vehicles that are polluting the environment using fossil gas. But there's what you call it economic impact on that, right? You need to ensure that those that are going to dispose their vehicles that are polluting the environment, they will need to get a renewable energy driven vehicle, which is quite expensive. All right. So now the opportunities are abounding in green entrepreneurship. They are wide. So we have, let me just quickly recap so you get it. There's waste and recycling. There's renewable energy. There's wind energy, although that Nigeria is also far away from that, but we need innovations to bring this to life. All right. We have tree planting. We have recycling for building. There's recycling for building. Now, it's not just recycling to send to factories. We have recycling for building materials, and that's one of the cheapest way to get buildings done now. All right. So there are several ways that people can come into the space. So I will, because of time, I would like to stop at that.
So let's talk about let's talk about the funding opportunities for those in the green entrepreneurship sector. What opportunities are available for people who want to go into green entrepreneurship?
Okay, so we have about 3 categories of fundings that you can toll as a green entrepreneur. There is seed fundings, which is a smaller version of grants, which is non-refundable. So, and there are a lot of international organizations that are awarding these categories of grants, but they are highly also competitive because you do not hold a stake on it. So you have to show that you have to show workings, if I have to say it in a layman word, that you're actually doing the work. You're not just there to say a lot of English or grammar. All right. So, and you also need to show your MVP, which is your viable product, minimum viable product. That's what MVP means. So no one is going to, in the climate space, there's a lot of ideas already. So people want to see how is your idea working. People want to see the minimum version of your idea. So you need to have your MVP to qualify for seed grants or just grants. So there are organizations like Charity Entrepreneurship, the NCC, NCCC. Then we also have Atlas Network. There's Agnes from Kenya. So some of these organizations, they galvanize fundings from philanthropists or organizations to incubate ideas that are coming up in Africa, especially. So that's one. You have your seed grant, and then you have your regular grants, which is non-refundable. Then the next part is you can also source through loans. All right. So there are numerous organizations here in Nigeria that can give you a loan if your business idea is viable. All right. And one of such organizations is the Climate Technology Hub here in Abuja. And then we also have Concept Nova. All right. So Climate Technology Hub, they galvanize fundings from international organizations to provide, incubation for ideas here in Abuja and other places across the nation. And then the third form of fundings that you can also get is crowdfunding. So you can crowdfund, and also, let me state this clearly. Most times, we don't really need so much to start that idea. Yeah, so you can do what we call bootstrapping. So you have your MVP. You can even start selling your MVP, and you're making profit from your MVP, and then you can start expanding. So growth is not a marathon; it's a sprint. All right. So you don't have to do everything at once or at a go. So you can bootstrap, you can crowdfund, and when we say crowdfunding, you can crowdfund from strangers, crowdfund from family members. So that is the lowest form of fundings that you can get. But if your idea is actually viable and sustainable, I bet you really wouldn't need so much. By the time your business is growing to a certain stage, people will start observing. International organizations, national organizations, regional organizations start observing what you're doing, and support to start flowing in. All right. But again, it doesn't stop you as a green entrepreneur to reach out, because people do not understand fully what you are doing until you let them know. So as an entrepreneur, it is primarily your prerogative to let people know this is what I want to do, this is the category of support I want, and there are thousands and thousands of organizations that you can reach out to with your ideas. So not every in the business of entrepreneurship, not everybody is going to tell you yes to your idea.
That's true.
But in the midst of attempts, you will find I've personally gotten 5 grants.
Amazing.
All right, so 5 grants from different organizations. So you get these grants with persistence of ideas, and as you reach out, your ideas get what do you call it, innovated. Your ideas get reincubated. They give you suggestions. They give you, oh, this should be better. You get feedbacks and all that. So your product becomes better with the number of reach that you have, and oftentimes before you know it, people start supporting you.
Amazing, amazing. I want you to actually tell us the implication if we don't have lots of people go into green entrepreneurship, because it's a term that is now getting in the business world, and what will be the implication if a lot of people do not embrace the green entrepreneurship space?
Okay, so one of the things that I skipped was climate education. That's another big opportunity, for green entrepreneurs. So you can be a climate educator, trainer, and you can make lots and lots of money, because there are organizations that are also supporting, the training. Because Africa as a whole, we have very little quotient when it comes to green. We are a survivor planet, continent rather. So I call it planet because we are like on our own. All right. So if you want to talk about economic stances across the world, we are not in par with other continents. So we're like a planet on our own. So now, it is very important that education comes in. So that is a very good opportunity for green entrepreneurs. So you can be into renewable energy, and you are training others to become renewable energy experts, consultants, and what have you. All right. So it's important. Now, if we do not have the rise of green entrepreneurs, what will happen is that we may just wake up one day and we no longer have the world as we used to have it. Now, even currently right now, we have the news of tremors happening in Mpapi. And why? It's because of, mining activities that have been happening over the years. Now they've even stopped mining, but the adverse effect of that is now on. People, in fact, between September 14 to 16, people were having more than 10 trembling effects, during the day. All right. Now we now have cracks on people's walls. This is Mother Earth we're talking about here. Now, the tools of the mining, the quarry and the mines that have been done for years now is now coming back to haunt the people of the environment. That is just one out of the several, climate disasters that await us if green entrepreneurs do not rise to the call. So we need to rise to the call, and that's what we must do.
Amazing. Tremors is getting closer.
Yes, closer, yeah.
Amazing. All right, we'll take a break here, and when we'll come back, we'll continue the conversation. It's still the development report on Universal Television Africa. I am IFY ONYEKWERE, and my guest in the studio here has been having a very intelligent conversation, catalyzing green entrepreneurship in Nigeria. So looking at the part of the government, are there policies in place or should be in place, to encourage green entrepreneurs? What should be the government on their end, be doing better? Or what are they already doing if there are things already on ground?
Yeah, so first of all, I would like to say, there are a lot of policies to support green entrepreneurship and even green entrepreneur. But like we already know, there are too many policies that are not being implemented. So now, and that's the policies that tilt towards climate change and green entrepreneurship is what bettered what we call the National Climate Change Council, which is NCCC, which is more like a Nigerian version of the UNFCCC. All right. So these bodies are there to provide cushioning support to innovators arising from, the climate space, or who wants to emerge into the climate space. But then, like we always say, funding is necessary for any idea to become tangible, or for any idea to thrive. All right. So one of the policies that have not actually worked so well within that the green space is funding for innovative ideas. All right. Yeah, we know the government has made these policies, but we also need the stakeholders that are involved with these policies to do what needs to be done. All right. We're having a lot of climate-related crisis right now, from tremors to what you call it, flooding, and so many others. Right. So we need the stakeholders that has been put in place, from the government policies to stakeholders that are supposed to implement these policies, to take the rein. All right. Let the green space move forward. Let these policies be implemented. Let there be cash flow for innovative ideas, because if these ideas are cut short from the birth of the ideas, then we'll continue having a simultaneous, or it's rolling cycle of the issues that we already have. So we need government policies that will help to bootstrap ideas, that will help to ensure that climate-related innovations are funded, and then also to ensure that policies that will also ensure sustainability of these funded ideas. Sometimes some ideas get funded, but how sustainable is that funding? Do we have monitoring and evaluation of these policies? Do we have monitoring and evaluation of these ideas that has been funded already? So you see some very beautiful ideas. For example, the greenery arrangement of Abuja, for example. I'm using Abuja as the state capital now, has been abandoned at some point. All right, we are supposed to have lots of greenery environment across, Abuja. All right. But that is what I can say for now, for time's sake.
Thank you so much for the contribution. It's getting closer. Tremors, in the environment is not something to take lightly. All right, here's a quote to think upon. Sustainable development is the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the needs of the future. Until we meet next time, do have a great time. Bye.